Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon.
I'm gonna keep that in there. That's gonna be like the
Outro.
like the not gonna be the intro. It's gonna be the intro, and then you hear the dong. Try to do like from the top rope to your collection. This collecting the 1, 2, 3 presented by Cardboard Dugout. I am your host Moon 3PO, and this is my tag team partner Bropio with our farewell John Cena episode. But before we start crying, Bropio, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, for all the audio people, I'm obviously I sound a little raspy. So over the weekend the kids got sick, and so if you're a parent, you obviously know that eventually, as the kids get better, you become sick. So I am hanging in there. I'm battling, but a lot better than I was a couple of days ago. But we're here, you know. How you doing?
Yeah, you're struggling for your life the last couple the last
Yeah,
couple of days. Uh, yeah,
still sound a
it was
little
rough.
raspy, but we out
Yeah,
here.
you out here sound like me now with the way you've been speaking. um, but yeah, no, I am doing good. Obviously that is why if you guys were looking for some of our latest episodes here or like Survivor Series reactions or other predictions, things of that nature, that is why we were absent. We were both also just very busy. Like, if you listen to the last episode, you guys know it was my birthday, it was my wedding anniversary. We had just a lot of things that's going on. It was kind of a little bit difficult to kind of come in here and sit for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then obviously we were very busy, went to some in-person events, which we're going to talk about here in a short couple of minutes. And then, like you just mentioned here, the niece and nephew here got sick. The kiddos got sick here. So kind of put a little bit of delay on some things here. So hopefully you are listening to this episode on Friday, a day before Saturday night's main event. There are a lot of things to talk about. Obviously, there's a lot of shenanigans going on the internet here. John Cena has been talking a lot recently, so kind of just shoot the shit on what we've heard and what he said. Again, a lot of rumors going around the whole card. We are also going to make our predictions for the card as well, and kind of just give our overall just final thoughts. Obviously we're going to recap Saturday night's main event as well, as John Cena puts the bow on the present as far as of his career, but always just talk about what Cena has meant to us growing up, how we feel, how we feeling going to this match, maybe even in general talk about the retirement tour because it has officially concluded. So maybe we'll even talk about that here a little bit. But before we get into that, though, we had a very exciting in-person event here. Again, it's going to be about a week since you've heard this here, but we do want to make a little bit of a recap because there are some superstars that we saw that are going to be a part of this card that we're really excited to talk about moving forward. That being NXT Deadline. We originally were not planning on going to this. We were gifted some tickets here, so shout out to who you are. I highly doubt they listen to it, but if they do,
Shout him
shout out to
out.
them. Shout them out for gifting us the tickets here. Originally we thought we are gonna be part of something else, and then that changed, and then we just got seats. So it was very, very exciting. It was NXT Deadline at the Boeing Center in San Antonio, Texas. Again, we were not planning on going to it, but I'm glad that we did. The Boeing Center, I know you've been to it a couple of times for wrestling event. That was my first time there. That was my wife's first time there. And there's like no bad seat in that arena. It's a small arena, obviously. AEW rolls in there. Again, TNA rolled in there. I think it's the event that you went to. So
Yep.
yeah, overall, very fun event. We just kind of just wanted to recap here and just talk about it in general because again, there are some superstars that are in there. But yeah, overall, very fun card, and we picked up some very fun merchandise. Again, go check out the vlog if you guys want to see the vlog over on YouTube. Link will be down in the description down below if you guys want to go check out the full vlog there. You kind of see, the hits or I guess like the key moments of that PLE. Merch was cool, even though you kind of got shafted on on a t-shirt. Mystery bags, prints, the Blake Monroe printals were cool. There's a lot of this cool thing. That was my first NXT event since 2017, I believe. NXT Takeover San Antonio, Nakamura with Bob Roode. There it is, the Blake Monroe print here. First autograph as Blake Monroe. She doesn't have trading cards. I mean, she does have trading cards, but doesn't have any Blake Monroe autographs. We'll be curious to see how that plays out moving forward as we head to 2026 with only 4 releases. So time will tell with that. But yeah, NXT Deadline, very, very fun. First time ever seeing Ricky Saints as well, or Ricky Starks, however you know him. So that was the first time I saw him. I don't remember seeing him when AEW rolled in, I think in 21, 22. Whenever they rolled in here,
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
think it was
remember.
there. don't think he was
I
there.
don't remember seeing him. I feel like
Yeah.
that's something I would have remembered. Obafemi becoming a two-time NXT champion. That was surprising. That to kick off the card. Seeing him in person was absolutely insane. The dude is freaking huge. He's big on TV, but kind of seeing him from afar, dude's even bigger. The aura that man has is absolutely insane. Uh, so that was fun to seeing him in person, obviously, before he gets up to the main roster, which I think at this point is going to be pretty soon. Our Kendall Gray being, the underdog in that women's Iron Survivor and coming out as the victor. It was funny because we were kind of talking in between because she did eat quite a bit of pins in that match, and we are kind of talking that she
Yeah.
got the Ren St. Clair treatment from last year, becoming out victorious. So, very very surprising. For the most part, I obviously you guys again go check out the pod, other episodes, go check out the shorts. You guys know we've been very heavy favorites of Kendall Gray. So the fact that they are, again putting that rocket to her and taking her to the moon, even more minus from just the Evolve Championship, was very, very exciting. So that was a fun match. The Ethan Page, Mr. Iguana, you can say whatever you want with that one. Izzy Dame, Tatum Paxley, again, fine match, nothing too crazy. Then, of course, the men's Iron Survivor, with Javon Evans becoming the victor out of that one, even though I feel like they kind of wasted that already. He's already technically used his championship on this past Tuesday. But yeah, I feel like that one was kind of wasted a little bit. Maybe he could have done a Joe Hendry, who knows? But yeah, NXT Deadline was a lot of fun. Hopefully, more PLEs of NXT can kind of roll here. Hopefully, they do start doing the live events again. I know they kind of spread them out here and there, but I would love to see, if they do an NXT live event here coming back here to the good old San Antonio, Texas. But I throw it over to you, bro. P. What do you think about the card? What do you think about the event? How did you enjoy the event? I think this is your first NXT event in a while since again when we both went to Takeover. So it's been a minute since you've been to an NXT event. Correct me if I'm wrong, unless you went with unless you
Yeah,
went
I think
with,
the last I want to say probably the last time I went to NXT event was probably the 2017 takeover, which was the night before the Rumble, which
yeah.
back they used to have like the big NXT PLEs like right before the big main roster. That's when like the main roster was getting murdered by the NXT star stuff like that. But yeah, it was pretty cool just for like full content. Like just going back to like what you said, like originally we weren't planning to go into the event. Like I think like most tickets were in like around like the $100 range. That was for floor seats all the way in the back, and it's kind of just like with the holidays roaming around, kind of don't want to fork out like $200-300 on tickets and stuff like that. And there's obviously other stuff to take care of. But yeah, we were approached by friend of a family member. Basically said that hey, like they're looking for seat fillers, and I was like, oh, like that's interesting. Like, so basically, originally they were going to us, I guess, if like somebody from like I guess the camera area, I guess if they had to go to the bathroom or go get something, whatever, like they were going to send one of us to go like take this, and it's empty. The arena doesn't look empty in a sense. So I thought, like, man, that's going to be an interesting like concept. Like, okay, I guess they do use seat fill for science and stuff like that. So uh, yeah, so I was pretty excited about that. But then like maybe the day before, we were gonna ticket. The person was like, "Oh, we just like gave y'all like actual seats." So we got to sit in this like little like it wasn't like a suite level esque, but it was like in a private little area. We pretty basically had the whole road to ourselves. So it was pretty good. It was a good time. Had a good view. So if you want to see, you can go check out some TikToks that we posted and stuff like that. Um, Although my only gripe is that obviously we got like a dedicated line to here. For some reason, like we were like right by the merch table. So I was like, oh hell yeah, like we're gonna be able to like right in get our merch and we can just go do whatever. But no, I guess smart people over here at the Boeing Tech decide to put their VIP entrance like by the exit of the merch table. Like it's very weird. It's very hard to describe. So basically, like the people who are coming from the GA entrance are heading towards the merch table, and then as you're entering from the private area, like crossing paths. So you literally have to go all the way around, and like you're basically getting in line with the J. It was just a big mess. Anyways, we wasted like about an hour um, in the merch time. Got what we wanted. I thought I got a jacked up shirt. So thanks a lot, TKO, Sean, Michaels. Come on, what are y'all doing over there? And shirts for sale on eBay. Go check it out. Let me know. Catch your deal. And yeah, I was just it was
Error shirt,
yeah.
rare
Yeah,
item,
error shirt,
investment
rare
item,
item.
Kendall Gray.
Yeah, there you go. Um, I was surprised that the whole obviously the PLE went on at 6 o'clock our time, but for some reason the ticket said 5:30. So I was like, all right, cool. If I can be like a dark match or two, so I was like trying to rush to get to my seats. I can catch the dark match. I was assuming that maybe like Ren would probably have a dark match, but they literally just made it sat there for 30 minutes while I watched the damn pre-show. I was like, well, this is a waste of time. So, anyways, that'd probably be my only gripe. They didn't have like any dark matches, and I thought maybe like afterwards maybe they'll have one, but no, there's nothing. Match wise, yeah, the both Survivor matches, those are just insane. Like I remember watching them on live, like on when it happened last year, and that is interesting concept, stuff like that. So I would even eventually go back and watch the other from the other past Iron Survivor matches from past years ago. It's just a very cool concept. It's just chaotic. Like at one point, like
Chaotic,
there was
yeah.
like Kendall and all of them are fighting in the ring, and you start hearing like a loud bang. You're like, what the hell is that? Like Lon and Jordan Grace are going at it in the freaking penalty box. Like it's crazy. So I'm like, dude, I don't know what to watch and stuff like that. My own gripe, and I think I told you this too about the matches. Like, just stop the clock once the wrestler enters the box. I think at one point, like Kalani had got pinned, and it took her like a whole 30 seconds to get to the damn box. By the time she had a minute, like they should start the timer once the person's in the box. But I mean, that'd be my only gripe about that. But I mean, yeah, it was such a hit. Had a lot of fun. It was a blast. Raw. Usually they announce like the events like right then and there, like when they're coming next to your city. It was that night they announced that they were going to have a Monday Night Raw in March, which is obviously going to be on the road to WrestleMania. So that'd be pretty cool. That'll probably be next. Well, sure, me. I don't know about you. Obviously, you have a WrestleMania trip to look forward to. So,
Yeah,
um,
I was about to say I don't think I announced it here on the pod. I think it's
oh
been that
shit, my
long.
bad. Woo!
No, I just crossed my mind. I was like, oh shit, I don't think I mentioned
Leave
that on
that
the
out.
pod. Not you're good.
Anyway, so yeah, our next event is Raw. Maybe we'll do another event for that. But yeah, other than that, man, it's a good. These I think I even told you every time like wrestling rolls into round like a little I'm like a little kid. My stomach starts to hurt when I know I'm not going or I can't go or whatever. So yeah, my tummy was not hurting that day except for the shirt, but incident. But other than that, it was a good time, man.
Yeah, it was a very good time. That was my wife's first time attending to an NXT event, so telling her all about our stories of 2017, even dating back before then when we did the staining room during Finn Balor's
Yeah, I think this was like
his
my
farewell
fourth, I think.
tour.
My fourth NXT event. I
Yeah,
want to say
you have one on me because that was my third.
yeah. Yeah, because I think the one I went without you is the one I have a signed poster of that match card, which
Yeah,
um which obviously we'll probably talk about this too with the merch. They have I'm pretty sure I guess they do this for most NXT live events, but they will have like a signed poster from usually every wrestler that wrestles there. And so obviously like Kendall's autograph was on there, and that's usually like one of her first few autos, or probably yeah, her first autos because she doesn't have anything card wise. Um, this guy walked out and he had like five of them and they were top loaded. And I'm like, this fucking dude. And like he like walked right in front of me because he was trying to exit the venue. I'm like, this dude probably just bought a ticket to come buy this stuff and throw it on eBay and then dip. And sure enough, yeah, he did. Like
like sure
there's
enough, that's
listings on
exactly what
eBay.
happened.
Yeah. So I was like, I know it was that guy. And it's such like it's weird, like ships from New York, but he was here. I don't know. I guess maybe he's from New York and probably just took pictures and that's where they ship it from. But yeah, I don't know if there's any of those signed photos by the time we got to the merch tables. I was too busy trying to decide between Sol Ruka and Blake Monroe what the hell I wanted.
Blake, yeah.
Um, so anywho's fun time, good
Yeah,
card.
I was about to say because even with those two, because it's always weird how that autograph and signing things work. Because like Blake Monroe doesn't have any autograph cards. The only opportunity she would have had would have been her tops now, which she has two of them now. And those still were not autographs here. You can also buy the tops now of NXT Deadline, which do feature a Kendall Gray card that has the rookie card badge. So if you're like myself, I like rookie card badges, and want to get on some Kendall Gray stock, you can go buy her tops now. $8.99 again, no autographs. There's also the Javon Evans. But I thought the photo they chose was interesting because that's the photo that he cut the promo after. I don't know if you noticed that. It's the promo when he was talking to like when they're already off air. And he was talking, he did like a little San Antonio promo, like, we are NXT, thank you for coming, we love you, blah blah blah.
I didn't even notice
Um
that.
Yeah, so they got the interesting photo to choose, and then obviously they chose. And then the other one was the Obafemi becoming a two-time NXT champion. But yeah, overall, very
Oh,
fun
oh yeah,
event.
yeah.
Right. So I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. What interesting photo they decided to use for that one. But that was a cool little Easter egg if you're into Javon Evans or want to buy any of these tops now. Again, I believe
Last
you have
last
until
I think you have till what's today?
I think you have
Friday by
till
the time this
12.
comes out.
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, Friday. So if you're listening to this on Friday, last day to get it. So go do it.
Yep. Got in my 5 card Kendall Gray bundle. I know you got your usual 1 Kendall Gray in bundle.
Yes, sir.
So those are gonna be a fun little mail. I'm curious to see what the print run is gonna be. Obviously, we are talking about it yesterday. It's gonna be curious to see how the print run is because it kind of obviously Kendall Gray has been getting a lot of noise, a lot of waves on the internet, for her work. But curious to see if the hobby kind of starts to translate that.
I
Obviously,
thought
her
say
top's finest.
I feel like people know, but at the same time, I feel like they don't know. Like
Yeah.
it's a weird mix.
Yeah, it's weird because her stuff in finest is so expensive. Is because she's on the rare side, so she doesn't have a lot of
Yeah.
cards in finest. If she had like an uncommon, like if she's like Javon Evans who has like 3 rarities in every area, or like maybe even 2, I don't think the prices that we see for her cards right now would be what they are. Because even her, like I think I saw yesterday, I think it was actually the day that she won. Her base refractor was going for like $200. So it's like it's still a selling for a a pretty hefty amount. And if you guys know the amount that I sold my ad at 3 for. Obviously I went to the person who's completing the rainbow. So obviously her stuff is so slowly but surely moving at a pretty steady pace. So, but it's gonna be curious to see if like this would kind of give us a true indication, like, all right, who's really in, who's really recognizing it, who's really, keeping tabs on it. Because again, she doesn't have a lot of cards. So if we're trying to get on some stuff, potentially this might be for you. Not financial advice.
And it's got the
Um,
RC badge on it too. So, I mean, there you go.
and I got the RC badge. So yeah. So
Yeah.
you guys know I love my RC badges. We both love our RC badges. So if you want to get into
Yep.
that, there you go. But yeah, that
The
was NXT
strange
Deadline.
lore of RC badges for wrestling cards.
Tell me
There's no
about it.
the perfect way to describe it, honestly.
Literally, yeah. Because if you go to the lore of like John Cena's, for example, like his rookie cards considered like a 2002 Fleer, technically,
Yeah.
but didn't have the RC badge. So it's all up for like when we went to the card show. The vendor that we usually go to had a Hulk Hogan rookie card. Where it's claimed to be the Hulk Hogan rookie card. I asked him, I was like, "Hey, that's the Hulk Hogan rookie card." He's like, "It depends what you ask." I was like, "Yeah, true that." So
Is it that baby blue one? That light baby
the baby
blue?
blue one,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So he
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, it depends what you ask." So I was like, "Good
What's
answer."
that gonna work for me, brother?
Oh, you got me, brother. That's my favorite
R.I.P.
Hulk Hogan quote.
R.I.P. sir.
R.I.P. Hulkster. R.I.P. brother.
Brother.
But yeah, that was Deadline. Again, very fun card. Very, very fun. We both enjoyed it. Hopefully the wives enjoyed it as well. It was a very good time. But yeah, that was NXT Deadline. Now we will be heading into what is slowly approaching us here. Again, if you're listening to this on Friday, tomorrow night will be Saturday night's main event, which of course is John Cena's last match. Obviously, we're gonna save him for last because I mean, obviously we'll talk about it here. Um, 4 matches on the card. I know typically we gripe about the 4 matches on the card, things of that nature. But again, there's a lot of rumors, a lot of shenanigans going on with this. Supposedly, the latest rumor that's came out now is, I don't believe this one to be true, is that Cena and Gunther are going to open up the card. I don't believe that to be true. John Cena
That's what I
already
heard
went on
too.
Jimmy Fallon and was like, he said that he's probably going to be last. It makes no sense. And if you're looking at it from a WWE and TKO perspective, why would you want to have your greatest superstar ever, no pun intended, to go kick off the show and then have everybody tune off? Like, that's not the whole point of the show. The whole point of the show is that you watch it throughout the duration so you can see these NXT superstars, and then you get to the last. Like, it makes no sense to do that. So if
Yeah,
you
like not
believe
even
Dave
that too.
Meltzer,
Like if they go on first, if John Cena loses, and more specifically, like this whole thing, like where Gunter makes them tap out, like a lot of people are probably gonna be pissed and they're clicking away, like they're not watching the rest of that
exactly,
card, which would defeat the purpose of this whole NXT showcase thing. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm not buying that one.
Yeah, I'm not buying that one, and that one supposedly is coming from Dave Meltzer as per usual. So I am not buying that one at all. So I would take that one with a grain of salt. The one that is very interesting to me is there's no time slot for this. Like there's no 2 hours, hour and a half type thing. Like they supposedly they said there is no time limit whatsoever. Like NBC and Peacock is letting WWE have their run. I don't know how to believe again, if they were on the network, I would
There
see
has to be a runtime. The reason why is because I was rewatching Unreal, and like, what's his name again? Oh, damn, what's his name?
Abyss.
Bruce Pritchard. Bruce Pritchard. Like his whole thing was like, oh, you're gonna be Netflix. I can go 2 hours, 3 hours, blah blah. Y'all go as what? And he basically says like, that's not true. There has to be a runtime. I think there's probably not a runtime for Cena Gunther, but I'm pretty sure there has to be like, hey, like we're gonna go 2 hours, but if y'all want to go like 205 and like that I can see, but I highly doubt like there's like, oh, you know what, fuck it, let's just go crazy and like call our own spots. Like I find that really as well. So I'm gonna also go on don't believe that either. There has to be some kind of established runtime, I think.
Yeah, I think there obviously has to be like some sort of like time frame. But I think the thing that I think where everybody's kind of worried about is like right when 9 o'clock hits, like that's it. I think that's where it's kind of worrying people. I think that would only be the case if they were still going to be airing it on the actual NBC
Well,
network, which they
yeah, I
don't
think if it was like
anymore.
the way if it was the way it was for Goldberg on national TV, then yeah.
That man
Uh,
has to be fucking
I
fuming right now hearing
wouldn't be
this.
surprised if that was the like leading. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the leading cause of like of all the uproar they got. Like if that was a decision to like just pull it from like NBC TV straight stream on Peacock. Like I wouldn't be surprised, especially if they knew that John Cena's last match was on Saturday's main event. 'Cause I think that was the whole big issue too. Like we saw Goldberg and he cut, and they're like, dude, they're gonna give John Cena this treatment too, like on Saturday's main event. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what made them change it too. So, but I mean, if it's on Peacock, let it roll.
Yeah, and I'll give a little bit of a prediction here what I think this ending might be for Cena when we get to that match there. But yeah, just wanted to talk about those two rumors here because those are the big rumors circulating the internet right now. So always interesting to have these conversations regarding all of that. But like we briefly hinted here, this is an NXT exhibition card, meaning here NXT talent are going to be involving with the main roster talent. So there's some pretty exciting matches here. First one here that we'll talk about is the AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Javon Evans and Leon Slater. I didn't know until I was reading this here. I thought they were just having a good old grappling match. And but suppose this is for the tag team titles, according to this, what I'm reading. So that's going to be a
Hey,
very fun, exciting match here. We got considered, the legend of TNA, that being AJ Styles, and the future of TNA, depending on whenever he decides to come to WWE, that being Leon Slater. We got the young OG Javon Evans, who we briefly hinted here, who we saw just a couple like last week. He's very, very exciting. And I know a superstar. I think I told you this, and I told I was telling your Mrs. Bropio, or I was telling her this is that I know a superstar captivates someone when my wife is interested and like she takes away something from a match. And the fact that she took away from the men's Iron Survivor and like took away from Javon Evans, like that's when you know someone's good. So I was like, all right, Javon Evans, he's a star in my eyes already. And it also helps that his shirt was inspired by Juice
Juice
WRLD, which is
World.
my wife's one of my wife's favorite artists. So also helps about that as well. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be she'll probably be watching this match. Very, very excited for that one as well. As much as I love Javon Evans and Leon Slater, the tag team, don't see them winning this one. But again, a lot of these matches here, wins or loss, is just going to be just very fun to see them. And again, the whole point of this is to get the exposure of these superstars because these are the future of WWE and wrestling and TNA. Javon Evans has already had a little bit of a taste on the main roster already, so I'm pretty sure his time is. Dude's still so young too, man. He's only 21, so so much time. Like, he doesn't even need to be called up right away. Like there's so much time that he has to accomplish so many things on within WWE itself. But yeah, this one here is just going to be a good old straight up fun match. I wouldn't be surprised if it's open up the card, I should say, to kind of just get some high flying, get some high spots in, kind of just high energy, high intensity type stuff here. But yeah, this one here got AJ Styles and Dragon Lee taking this one.
Yeah, I'm rolling with that one too. I don't see them, especially now that the Usos are now officially back as a tag team champion, or they're back as officially as a tag team. They've announced that they're setting their eyes back on the titles, which good for them. I think they'll probably revive that tag team division that needs some help. Um, Even though some people were like speculating that now Jay is like, you could see that he looked like he was about to turn heel or something like that. But anyways, that's probably a
Yeah, it's all
story
been thrown
for another
around.
day. Yeah. Um, yeah, this one's a big. This one's pretty cool because I know like one of the things that they're throwing around too is that like AJ Styles was the first ever X Division champion for TNA, and he's going down in a match against the now current X Division champion Leon Slater. Which that was the second time I saw him. I saw him at TNA back in January. Dude's crazy, so and he's an up and coming dude. Um, but yeah, I don't see them putting the titles on them. One thing I noticed too about if I was watching a lot of these John Cena interviews, like if you so he's around the world like this, that this card is like not canon and just like purely exhibition. Kind of makes it seem like whatever happens here is just not like doesn't happen in a way. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I find it weird that he keeps throwing egg. I find it weird, and I think we talked about it briefly when the tournament when we last recorded, because we didn't know what the hell exhibition meant. Obviously, we know what it means, but like we didn't know what that meant in WWE terms, and like WWE felt like, what the hell is an exhibition? In terms of wrestling in WWE, like obviously we again understand what it means, but like I don't think I've ever heard a tournament or superstars throw that word around for a card. So yeah, it is very
Yeah.
interesting. I am
Let's throw me
hearing them
off too
talk
is like when
about it.
he started calling it like these matches are non-canon. I'm like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? So it's like it's like it happened, but it doesn't count or it didn't happen. Like it's very interesting. So I'm just curious with a lot of stuff. That's why I'm surprised like they put like this match for the world titles. So like if like in a sense if it's an exhibition match and it's non-canon, like if Javon and let's say we're supposed to win, technically it didn't happen. So they didn't never won the tag team titles.
That's some Men in
I
Black
don't
shit
know.
right there with the,
Yeah,
the little pins.
never happened, man. Never happened. Never happened. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this match is gonna have like a lot of crazy high flying spots, so it should be fun.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be a fun one here. Yeah, and the team of AJ Styles and Drake Lee has been a fun pairing for I think everybody involved and everybody watching. So to see them go against two of the younger stars in wrestling, obviously Leon Slater still being in TNA, so I can't technically say WWE, but both 21-year-old, both superstars, going to be a very exciting match. Next one up here that we got on the card itself. This is a straight up singles match here. Obviously, no titles involved because none of them have titles. Even though one at one point was holding two. We got Bailey versus Sol Ruka. Even with all the shenanigans of the knee injury and things like that, obviously WWE still has high praise for her. She's obviously been propelled to be like the next rising women's superstar here, and obviously you can see that down in NXT because they obviously it's obviously a fake a fake knee injury. They protected her with it because obviously, like we just talked about, she had two belts. She had the North American Championship, and then she had the Speed Championship. Technically, never lost either or. She forfeited the North American, had Zara defend on her behalf, where Zara lost to Blake Monroe, and then the Speed Championship, she just gave that up and forfeited and relinquished the Speed title, which now is held by one member of the Fatal Influence, Fallon Henley. So technically they protected her to such a strong extent that they don't even have her losing matches. So this one here is interesting. Obviously also shows Bailey as well. That obviously, Bailey is like the out of the four horsewomen, there's no bad matches between any of them, but Bailey is that workhorse for like, all right, throw you with somebody that's from NXT and there's not gonna be a bad match. This one here, I don't see Bailey getting that victory just because of that. I think she's kind of in that position where she can eat a loss and like it's not really gonna do anything. Um, and I don't think she's when's the last time she won? I think they probably won a couple of tag team matches mixed in with Lyra, but hasn't really been like she's not in the mid card title for the IC title belt anymore. Her and Lyra are just kind of just bouncing within the women's tag team division. So I mean, if there's anyone who that can eat a loss and not really affect their momentum if it exists, or like we just talked about, they're non-canon or gonna be canon, I don't think it's really gonna affect her in any way. Would definitely help Sol Ruka, and for sure. But even with the Zarya stuff going on, I don't see anything kind of playing into that. Because I don't think they will waste a heel turn on this. Depending, I don't know. Depends what you ask. But yeah, this one here, I do got Sol Ruka taking this one.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think Bailey's like at that point now where she's just kind of like just wants to like help like showcase like the up and coming superstars. Obviously, if you on Twitter, she held like a over this past weekend, she had like a weekend long like women's wrestler seminar.
Yeah.
She took in a lot of women wrestlers from around the country, and um, she brought in like all these other people. I think like John Cena was there, Jay was there. I think Cora Jade was even there.
Mhm.
Um, Lyra was there, so they had like a big wrestling seminar.
Did you
So
see
I
Izzy
think
was
she's
there?
kind of like, yeah, that was crazy. Like it has to be like full circle for her. Like if people don't know, Izzy was like the big Bailey fan back when Bailey was down in NXT. Um, she was a little Bailey fan, and so now she was there. She was grappling with Bailey. So I'm pretty sure that has to be pretty cool for her. So shout him out, shout out
Shout him
Izzy.
out.
Shout him out. Yeah, so I think she's kind of just at that point now too, and I think even um listening to her interview with on Taker's podcast, um, where she kind of still has like that old school mentality in her, where like she talked about like how like I guess nowadays wrestlers don't stay like after matches, they kind of just pack up and go kind of thing. Whereas like back in the day, like people would always like stay backstage, stay in gorilla and like watch the matches and stuff like that. And like as the wrestlers come back, like greet them, like and they would ask, you know, can I do better on my match and stuff like that. So I think she has that old school veteran grizzle about her. I think kind of she's at this point. Not saying like she's just gonna be like a basic like basically like just take pins from everybody, kind of like an Amelia sense where she was kind of in that position. Um, but I think it's kind of where she's just at, where she's just like really wants to focus on help in the women's division, and obviously like putting over Sol Ruka would probably help. Like I don't know how much people watch NXT. Um, so like if it's just your first time seeing her wrestle, you're gonna be like, well, who the heck's this? And like I'm pretty sure if she hits the snow snatcher on Bailey, you're gonna like think the finishing move alone will just hook you on Sol, like that alone. Um, so I think it'd be a pretty fun match. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Sol Ruka on this one too.
Yeah, no,
And
and I think that
technically it's non-canon, so Bailey never lost. So there you go.
so technically it's not canon, so it won't be on the win-loss record. Yeah, and you took exactly what I was trying to convey. Like I think she's just in that interesting spot where she could just like Soruka getting a win over her is gonna do much more for Soruka than Bailey beating Soruka at this point. Like I don't think there's really nothing Bailey can gain from this. If it was like a tag team match, maybe if it was like Bailey and Lyra versus Zarya and Soruka, that's a different conversation. And obviously
That
there's
would have
belts
been cool
involved, things
too.
like that.
Yeah.
Then obviously that's where you can maybe make the case like okay, Bailey and Lyra can get this victory here. But yeah, no, you definitely took it there, and then obviously she's been evident that she helped Roxanne Perez when Cora Jade was still around. Like she ate a pin for Cora down at NXT. She even went down to NXT for that little short period of time. So yeah, I think she's in that position where if she can help somebody, I think she's going to help that. And I think that's just like the mentality that she has, while still having that I want to be involved in this and that. I'm still part of the main picture type thing. Which she kind of hinted about
Yeah,
the
I
whole
think
WrestleMania.
it's hard, especially for like us, we essentially like watch the rise of like the four horsewomen of Becky, Bailey, Charlotte, and Sasha, aka Mercedes. Like we saw them like start at NXT, make their way up to the main roster. And I remember like when Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky made it wrestled at WrestleMania. Excuse me, coughing. When they wrestled at WrestleMania, like I remember being so upset. I was like, man, like Bailey should have been in that match. Like that alone, like just to have all four of them wrestle at WrestleMania would have just been like super awesome. So I think that's probably the hard part for like us fans like that, like knowing how where Bailey was and how far she's come. Like it's hard for us to watch her like just constantly like take L's and take losses. It's like, dude, what the hell are they doing? And then she gets attacked and like taken out the day before WrestleMania, and it gets replaced by Becky and stuff like that. So it's hard to watch, but at the same time, it's like like she'll be all right. Should be good.
Yeah, yeah, she's echoed that. I think she basically echoed that in the Undertaker podcast. Like she knows where she's at in her career, so
Yeah, I think she did.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think she will be totally fine. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a very exciting match. So excited to see them two square it off there in the squared circle. This next one here, man, this one is a very interesting one. We got Cody Rhodes versus Obafemi, again, your two-time NXT champion. Um, I remember before heading into Deadline, I thought Ricky Saints was gonna
But say
win.
like
I
I
didn't.
was say going back, I remember when the match started, I was like, damn, do you really think like they're gonna take the belt off Ricky to and like miss that Cody versus Ricky at Saturday Night's Main Event kind of vibe? And I remember when Oba won, I was like, ooh, I was pretty shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Oba was just gonna go
Yeah,
straight to like the main roster because they have been gone for so long. So I was like, all right, he's probably gonna like come out the role or whatever and just go to the main roster. And nope, NXT champ again. So
yeah, that's the exact thought that I had. I was like, I don't think they're gonna put the strap on Oba again, have him stay down at NXT for whatever X amount of time. And then originally I thought like, okay, maybe it'll be a short reign, maybe Javon Emmons will win at New Year's Evil and then can get him ready for the Rumble. But that's not even gonna happen anymore, just because again, Javon Evans had his title shot this past Tuesday, which he lost with a heel turn from Ricky Saints. Um, so that's not even in question anymore. So I really don't know where the status of Oba is. Maybe Trick Williams is taking that spot on the Rumble. I really don't know because he's been absent from NXT. But yeah, this one here, this is exciting. I don't know. Oh man, this one's tough because like, do you have? Because obviously they have high praise for Oba. Like he wouldn't be in this position if they didn't think like we have high stock for you. But do you have him beat your undisputed champion Cody Rhodes? Like
just
but
end this
again, like
match
we
in a
talked about,
DQ.
this is
Honestly,
non-canon.
can we just end it in a DQ? Honestly,
Or and in a DQ. I know
yeah.
we're talking about it briefly on Whatnot when I was live streaming on Sunday. Well, shout out to everybody that came in and on hopped in on Sunday. Like some people are like saying like, well, maybe we get like interference from Drew McIntyre. I don't see that happening in my opinion. I don't think you would do that on an exhibition or non-canon as we've been talking about here. But it's like, man, like where do you go if your idea
I mean,
for
you can
this.
even if you can even like I guess again I hope I'm not stealing your thought, but like if your whole thing is to showcase like NXT wrestlers, like during the match, if you want to go like the GQ route and you don't want to like make it feel old with like Drew or something like that, like why not bring out Ricky Saints or Javon is obviously there. He lost to Oba. Why not have him come out and make some foolery of it? So yeah, I don't know. No DQ on this match. They just I I don't see Oba going over on Cody, and I don't also see like Cody going clean on Oba. It's just I don't know. It just they think there's just too much high stock on both of them, and obviously I think it's also a good silver lining of like obviously John Cena was the the golden boy. He's on his way out. We got Cody, who's the current golden boy, and then you have like this Oba guy who's down in NXT, where he's obviously like he could be your new golden boy in the near future. When the time is right. Um, like why why have either or take a pin or something like that? We have some foolishness go on. So I don't know. And like I said, you can showcase other NXT guys. Bring out Ricky Saints. Bring out Javon again. If you want to bring Trick, like bring out Trick. Why not? Bring everybody out. Bring them all out.
Bring them all out.
Bring them all out like the way that horrible Blake Monroe segment was on Tuesday.
I'm gonna say bring them out like
Oh
that.
god, dude, that girl. They're like, I don't even know who the hell they were. Like, I think she even tweeted out. I think it was that. What's her name? I think Collie Armstrong. Like,
Carly Armstrong.
She cheated at Blake. Oh, like, oh, I'm gonna take your title, and she retweets her just like question marks. Like, oh god, I don't know what the segment
uh
was about. That was pretty bad.
yeah,
And then
when I was
fucking
watching the live, I was like, I don't know what the hell.
hyper energy drink was running all over the place, and I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, that's a story for another day.
Yeah. When I watched it, I was like, God, wasn't the best thing ever. I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know if that's how you wanna book your North American champion. Um, but yeah, again, that's a different pod. But yeah, this one here, I don't know how they're gonna get there, but yeah, this one here, I do have it ending in some type of foolery, no DQ. Um, Again, I don't think you have Oba eat a pin. I mean, it wouldn't hurt a stock if he eats the pin. If he eats the pin, he eats the pin. It's not gonna hurt a stock whatsoever. Um, but if you're a new watcher, you're coming in for John Cena's last match. If you want to know who is the top star right now, who is your John Cena, for this era, for these, for this era of wrestling, it is Cody Rhodes. I don't think you're gonna have him eat a pin as well. So yeah, this one here, I do have ending the DQ. If it's Drew, if it's Ricky Saints, if it's Javon Evans, whoever it may be. Maybe it's a Tony D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo just coming out and choke slamming everybody. So maybe it's a Tony D. How's your chicken colors? Maybe he comes in and choke slams somebody.
Dude, it was funny too, 'cause on the chatter on the internet, like people were like, how did he even know? Like, had like no pop for Tony D. And I'm like, dude, honestly, coming from somebody who was there, I couldn't even tell it was him. Like, I was squinting. I'm like, who the is that? I could not tell until like they finally zoomed in on him. I was like, oh, it's Tony D. I'm like, there you go.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I couldn't even freaking tell who it was. I was like, it's not to the point like we were so far away. It was just like the camera angle was so weird, and they weren't.
those
And
are
like
weird
the
angles.
promo video that they did for him was like kind of weird. Like it's just him just walking, and his face is black, so you can't really tell who it is. And obviously it's a lot different from what the last time we saw him. So yeah, I was like Tony D's fine. He's not the biggest name in the world, but yeah, the reason why he that no pop, I guess, is just because it was kind of hard to say to kind of tell who the hell it was. But I don't know, maybe he gets involved, maybe he chokes down somebody, who the hell knows. But yeah, this one here I do have ending in a no DQ, some type of foolery. What happens, I don't know, but if they're not, then I wouldn't be surprised if Cody goes over, because again, you want to promote your new John Cena, which is evidently Cody Rhodes. Now to the last match here, which is John Cena's final match, his retirement match. It sounds kind of it's crazy that we're talking about it now. Very, very weird. We started the pod. I think we're about to hit a year, I think, from
when we fully transitioned. Because obviously, people who probably don't know, like we used to do baseball and wrestling. Like, we used to split it up, and then I just at some point, like baseball just got too aggravating, and just there's so many, like there's a lot of baseball stuff out there. So it kind of like just became like And not that there's not a lot of wrestling stuff out there. Like there's some wrestling stuff out there, but I think if you give like if you were to put a gun to our head and like, all right, like choose like what do you want to talk about for now, baseball or wrestling, we're probably gonna choose wrestling. So I don't know if at that point we were just strictly wrestling. So I want to say like when he turned heel, like that's when we started. Like I think that's when we talked to Adam Gelman. When we brought him on, and I think John Cena had just turned heel. I remember that was one of our big talking points.
Technically, our very first episode.
And I think Chrome had just came out too in January.
Yeah.
So
yeah, our very first episode of Collecting the 1, 2, 3 was January 30th. So we're almost at a year.
Shoot.
So we kind of started at the beginning of the John Cena retirement tour, and now we're here. So we didn't go right in the beginning of the retirement tour. We kind of started at the beginning, and then now eventually are here. But
we still were doing baseball then. Okay.
Yeah, we're still, because we did looking at the content here. We did do 2025 Top Series 1.
We did our series. We did our season predictions, which we probably all got wrong.
Yeah, we did. We did a Paul Skeens debut patch. We had a fantasy baseball, and then we had opening day awards, and then we came back. And then we officially came back to
hiatus. And called it quits. We retired with that.
And then after that, we called it quits after that. But yeah, we officially launched this edition of the podcast January 30th. So we kind of been at the beginning of the retirement tour as far as of talking about it, publicly. But with the point I was trying to get across here was like it's crazy just saying that now. It feels just like yesterday hearing him at Money in the Bank or whatever PLE that it was when he announced his retirement, and then going to the tour, starting off in January, seeing him live in July, and just kind of just going through the ins and outs of the tour itself. Like it still does not feel real, and seeing all the stuff on social media, like it's insane. It's crazy. This was not arguably, it was our child. This is our childhood. And it's going away. And the way that he's talked about it, like this is it. Like he's not gonna do a Ric Flair, Undertaker, whatever. This is Stone Cold. The Rock, like this is it. Like I think he's even confirmed that he signed like an ambassador role, and like the next time you see him, like
Yeah.
he's gonna be in a
He
suit and
said he signed
tie, like a
like a
5-year deal,
5 year, I
right?
think
Like a
he said.
5-year ambassador
Yeah.
deal.
Ambassador
Um,
role. Yeah.
like he's gonna be in a suit and tie. Like you're not gonna see him in the jorts. He's not even gonna go and do like like kind of we just mentioned, like the one-off, like quick attitude adjustment. That's it. Leave. Like he's not even gonna do that. Like he's absolutely done, which is absolutely insane. Um, but I guess before we talk about the match itself, because again, I don't even know how the finish is gonna go. So I guess I could try to talk myself into a finish here before we before we get into it. Let- Let's talk about the retirement tour in general, from start to finish. How would you rate the retirement tour? I know that obviously that's been a big discussion right now. Obviously, there's been a lot of chatter right now to the whole thing of like he wanted to work 220 dates, and I know that part of the interview got clipped and took into a wazoo. Um, and this the whole like opponents, the heel turn, the heel run. That was obviously a big part of our podcast as well. But I guess in general, how would you rate or describe the retirement tour from start to finish? Not just the end half or the better half or the later half. From start to finish, January 1st or January 2nd, whenever the hell that Netflix episode was, to December 13th. How would you rate the retirement tour?
Oh man, it's weird too because like I was critical of like a lot of stuff, especially at the beginning. Like if you go back and listen to like a lot of the earlier pods, like I was very critical of like the heel run, specifically like the beginning. Like there was just like so many question marks, a lot of whys that we didn't get answered. We still didn't get answered. Probably never will get answered. They start in deals. I think he's probably going to talk more about stuff once he's done, which will be Saturday. I mean, I don't think he's going to like right off the back be like, oh, this happened. But I'm sure as time goes by, more and more stuff will get released. Um, but like a lot of, after he, I think after SummerSlam, when he went back to being like normal John Cena, I think at that point I was like, you know what, like I'm kind of just like I'm just gonna like just enjoy like these last few months because that's the same like I think that's what probably the problem with the heel, like my problem with the heel run was I think we waited for so long like for this heel run and if it happened we were just so quickly to like oh this has happened like this is wrong you should have done this and that and that I think we were just too critical about it and I think that probably took away from the enjoyment of like actually just like all right let's just sit back and watch and stuff like that um so I think that did hurt. I think I like went back to this is all right, let's just enjoy while we're at it. And I think at that point, like that's when he started having like his better matches. Like he wrestled with well, obviously the SummerSlam with Cody, and then he wrestled with Logan. Um who else did he wrestle after that? AJ. Um he had that Brock match, which was not good, but he talks about it. So like if you go in the look into interviews, like he talks, I think it's with Chris Van Vliet. He talked about that one.
Presently.
Um, and when he talks about it, you could tell that like like he's not bitter about it. Like he was like all game for it. And I think like just listening to him talk about it, it's like you know whatever. Like I'm done being mad about it. There's no point to be mad about it. It is what it is at this point. Um, but I think all in all, like I've enjoyed it after I stopped like nitpicking at stuff. And I'm like, oh, I wish you would have wrestled this person or this and that for this belt or whatever. I think the heel turn alone is iconic. I think we'll always remember the heel turn. It's like when it happened. But the heel rose is kind of just like that weird little, ugh, kind of like a little you nitpick of added a lot. But the last part of it, I think that's where it got a lot better. Like again, like I said, I think we just finally take a step back to just actually like watch and take it all in. Um, so I enjoyed it. I think from a like a at an all in, like I did enjoy it. What I've liked like more matches, obviously that's where the big thing came in where um he went out and said like he wanted to work like 220 matches and stuff like that. And so when I watched that whole interview and I saw people like clipping it and like when they were clipping it and quoting it, like they weren't using the full quote. Like they were just using like, oh, I wanted to work 220 dates, and then they would put like dot dot dot, and then like, but and then he would put like but WWE only wanted 34. And so like you would like look at the comments and people are like, oh, Triple H and this and TKO ruined that. And like I'm like, dude, if you do the math, like there's 52 weeks in a year. So if he was at every Raw, it's only 52 dates. And if you want to put him at Raw, SmackDown, like that's a little bit over 100. Like there's just mathematically, there's no way they're doing 220 dates. And I think that was the point of the clip. That's the clip. That's the part of the clip of the video that people left out. Whereas like he was comparing the business then and now. Like they don't do like live events and house shows anymore. So like, and then that later in that interview, like he goes on to praise that like LA Knight was like the most worked matches of the year at 70. Like, so there was just no way, like that they were gonna do that. But what I liked a little bit more like matches here and there, like sure, why not? I would have taken it in, but I mean, it is what it is at this point, and I mean, we're here. It's gonna be interesting to see how Saturday. I don't. There's no way in hell like he can lose on Saturday. No, there's just no way. I need like one last Super Cena. Just give me the 5 moves of death. Get the pin. We're good. Call it a day. Somebody said he should leave the torch in the ring.
So I saw that too. Like the way Undertaker left his coat and his hat.
Yeah.
And somebody leave the shorts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I wasn't very critical of the run as much as most people were. I enjoyed it probably more than most. But I think the part now where it kind of gets a little bit like I don't want to say fishy, but it kind of gets clouded a little bit is now when he's came out and said like it wasn't something that was theoretically planned. Like he's talked about in Chris Van Vliet, like he's had this for tour planned out since like I think he said 22, 23. Like he's had it planned out for like 2 years
Yeah,
or like
like
two and a half
2-3
years,
years.
something
Yeah.
crazy like that.
Yeah.
And like everything that he had planned 2.5 years ago, like did not happen during this year. So obviously a lot of things changed. I think my only gripe with the turn and the retirement tour itself was that they obviously had something planned, and the Elimination Chamber was not going the way they thought it was going, and they needed a reaction to that PLE, which was basically confirmed by The Rock as well. And they're like, okay, we're gonna turn you heel. So like there wasn't like a strategic plan to see how this will go. It was just like, all right, you're gonna turn you heel, and then we're gonna play it week by week. Which I mean, I know WWE and wrestling is very reactionary. You know, everything's planned out. You know, week by week. Sometimes you don't know what you're gonna do that day. But I think that to me was that's my biggest complaint with all that. Like if I would have known, or like if it would have been confirmed, like yes, we knew we were gonna turn Cena heel from day one, and we were gonna try to do this, then that's a different story. But the fact that you just did this for a reaction and not like something theoretically planned, that's my only biggest gripe with it. And obviously, like we talked about here, I think Logan Paul, ironically enough, confirmed it as like Travis Scott was supposed to be involved. He no-showed or something like that. So very ironically enough, that Logan Paul though, is the one that kind of gave us a little bit of answer rather than John Cena. And I think if you go back and listen to our episode when we reacted to the heel turn, was that my biggest concern was like, how are you going to do this? Like, how are you going to get this squeezed but in March? Like, how are you going to get this squeezed in 8-9 months? Like, how are you going to do that? And you can see it, in the promo, you can see it in all everything leading up to it, to the back to the babyface turn was like it was very rushed. Even the turn back to being John Cena, the John Cena that we know, like he did on a random episode of SmackDown. We were on vacation when he randomly turned face. So you could just tell it was just very, very quick. They were just trying to adjust on the fly. So I think again, the heel turn is going to be very, very iconic. We're always going to talk about that moment where that's something you're going to tell your kids about. That's something that I will forever be talking about, like where we were and what was our reaction to it. It's the heel run itself, which you can be very critical on, but there's still some good things that come out of it. Like the Randy Orton stuff was good. You can talk about the R-Truth stuff. Arguably, obviously probably being biased, my favorite stuff to come out of the heel run was the CM Punk stuff, and it's so good to hear him talk about that as well. Like that was his favorite part of the run itself. So again, like, and we talked about him when that was happening, like having CM Punk go to Saudi Arabia, do all that stuff, and the CM Punk, the Punk life, like the things that came out of that 2-week buildup, like that was arguably some of my best things, a part of this retirement tour. Um, but yeah, I think again, I would say that the overall retirement tour from start to finish was very fine. Could have been better, sure. Was there things that could have been done a little bit differently? Sure. Um, but to me, I think they did, what they could, and I think it was fine. I think it was good. If I was to give it a grade, I think it's like be like a B minus. Like it's not an
Yeah.
A. It's not an A plus. Again, there's a lot of misses. So I would give it like a B minus, 3 stars, 3.5 stars, whatever you want to call it. Um, but yeah, again, I think people just find different things, nitpick whatever they can, and just run with that. And I think they're doing it now with a lot of the quotes that he's saying, a lot of things that he's coming out with. And but yeah, I think the retirement tour in general was very good. I enjoyed it from start to finish. It was awesome seeing him in San Antonio and doing the whole like heel turn stuff and all that.
Yeah.
We killed for it. Yeah, but for this match alone here, I guess we'll also talk about it as well. Gunther, the right pick, wrong pick. I know again, for months we were praising
Yeah.
Gunther. It needs to be Gunther. It needs to be Gunther. Like there's nobody else. And then now that it is Gunther, we're all up in a fucking frenzy. We're talking about a dinner. Like everybody's just so fickle because now that it is Gunther, like everybody's mad. Like should have been Carmelo Hayes, should have been LA Knight, it could have been this, and that. Uh, Gunther doesn't need the rub. That's what everybody keeps talking about. I don't mind it. I think it's the perfect opponent. Gunther showed that on Monday Night Raw. That promo he cut was absolutely perfect to make this build. And just shows us how good Gunther is. Like he doesn't need Cena to be here to make this match feel so important than it already is, and just in less than a week. I love it. I know. We briefly talked about it in person. But I don't know if you have any thoughts on Gunther being the final opponent here before I get into my prediction of what I want to see out of this match.
Yeah, just going back to your point. Yeah, early in the year when we're all trying to decide who his last opponent would be, like I know Gunther was like thrown out there. We were loving the idea, and now that we're finally here, like people for some reason now hate it. I don't think his last match was like ever like advertised as like, oh, this is the next like future of the WWE s kind of thing. Like if that was the case, then it would have been like against Cody or Roman or I don't know, somebody like that esque. Um, but yeah, I'm perfectly fine with Gunther. The final opponent is obviously somebody that's never worked with each other before. So it kind of gives you that new like match feel. And I'm trying to think like I don't know if he's ever worked somebody that's kind of like in a style of Gunther where he's kind of like that like heavy kind of hitter, kind of submissionist kind of guy. I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, besides Brock, like, has he ever really?
The only heavy hitter that I could think of would be like Sheamus, potentially not submission
Yeah.
wise, but like
Okay.
hard
Yeah.
hitting brute style would be like Sheamus.
Yeah.
Um,
Like that UK style
that's
wrestling
like
that they do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cesaro, I
Probably
know they
did have
had
to
their
be
fair
sure.
share of battles, but yeah, there's
Yeah.
really not like been like a Gunther style type wrestler that he's gone up against him. That I can think of right top of my head.
Yeah. I mean, for like everybody that he kind of had his run-ins with, I mean, he pretty much got to everybody that he could. I mean, I know like he didn't get to wrestle Seth again or Roman, that were still at the company, but like Edge is not in WWE, Cesaro's not there.
And
Um,
people were making a big deal about the Miz. The Miz was one he didn't get to. I know he was in a
that'd
tour.
probably
He was in
be
the tournament.
the
Yeah.
tournament. I mean, like he was in the tournament. Zack Ryder was in the tournament. Dolph Ziggler. Um, I'm trying to think if anybody else that he had runs that he possibly could have had a match with, but nobody else comes to mind. Um, anywho's, yeah, I'm totally fine with it. I don't see Gunther winning. Like I said, I need one last five moves Cena death where he just hits his 5 signature moves, pins him, calls it a day, leave the jorts in the ring, make a relic out of it. Dude, imagine if they make a relic out of that.
Yeah, that's why I'm super excited to see what they do on Saturday with the tops. If they do like a tops now collection, if they do like a devoted John Cena stuff, like I'm really excited to see what they do. If they were to do, hopefully they do. That's the whole point of this tops license, right? Like you're supposed to have access to like material and things that maybe Top Panini didn't have access to. So hopefully they do something of that nature. But yeah, this finish here. again, kind of circles back to what we were just talking about. Like Gunther doesn't necessarily need the win. Like he's one of that. He's that opponent where like if he wins, it's fine. If he loses, it's not going to hurt him. Like he's Gunther. Like he's going to be a face here in WWE for a long time. Going to be in that main title picture for a long time. There's a reason why he was picked to win this. But yeah, I kind of gave like a little bit of a sneak peek for those that were in the Whatnot stream on Sunday. The way I kind of see it ending is, obviously Gunther's main devotion and main goal for this match is to make John Cena tap out, to make sure that he does give up, to make sure that he goes against, everything that Cena has lived for these 20 plus years of never giving up, and making him tap. So like the finish I have envisioned in my head is, they're in the sleeper hold, whatever. John Cena's going to either tap or fade out, whatever. And then that's when we get the Super Cena, the 5 moves of death. Maybe if you want to be even crazy, get like a super attitude adjustment from the top rope, do something crazy, or when he does the iconic one attitude adjustment, he rolls over, he does it again, and then eventually gets the 1, 2, 3. But that's the finish that I have in my head, and that's the finish I hope comes into play. Again, Gunther is not in that young position where it's like a Carmelo Hayes, like it's somebody like a Javon Evans or whoever that really needs that propel, that push. Like Gunther doesn't really need that. Would it be cool if Gunther can say like, yeah, I retired Goldberg, like I've killed 2 eras of wrestling, like I killed WCW, like I took the heart and soul of WCW, now I'm taking the heart and soul of WWE. Would that be cool? For sure, you could definitely run with that. But I just don't think that that's what I want to see. But again, if that's what happens, I would not hate it at all. I think it actually, and it can help Gunther, move forward, whatever. But again, I don't think he needs that hope. And then I think just for the overall ending, again, like we talked about here, I don't know what that ending is gonna look like as far as of like Cena leaving, like because he's not on Raw, he's not gonna be on SmackDown. He's not gonna have like a Ric Flair thing where he has a whole episode devoted to him. Like that's not gonna happen. So the finish that I hope that I really hope what I really want to see. John Cena wins, Gunther either exits, shakes his hand, does whatever. And then I just kind of just want to see like everybody come out, like kind of like we saw Ric Flair. Like I just want to see everybody come out, like everybody that he got to work with again, like come in, shake his hand. People he didn't get to work with, like The Miz. Fuck, maybe if you want to get crazy, maybe The Rock does come. I don't know. Like there's so many different things that you can do, but that's the one thing that I really want to see. Like I want to see him cut a promo, say thank you, do whatever. And then from there, like I just want to see like everybody come out, like, and it just again, it's non-canon, right? We've talked about non-canon. This fucking break of Fabe, have Dirty Dom, have all the heels come out, Rusev, have all those guys just come out and just say like thank you and like shake his hand. Have somebody like the Undertaker, like Undertaker came out and when did the Ric Flair thing, like he did the whole thing, he bowed down and put his hat down. Like I want to see all that. That's really what I really hope. I'm pretty sure that shit will have me fucking balling. But that's my one thing.
I've never even thought that. And like just you like talking about it and then you saying that, like I'm like, oh man, that sounds so good. Like, dude, that would be legit. That did happen. I hope they do that.
If they do that, this tour then turn from a B- to an A+.
Yeah.
Because that's like in the present there. So man, like if there's one thing that I do want to see, like it's that, like have the match, win or lose, whatever. But what I really just want to see is like, does everybody give him his flowers? And if that's going to be, obviously the crowd's gonna give him his flowers, no doubt about it. But just seeing just everybody just come in, do kind of like what they did with Cody, like have like Nick Khan, Triple H, everybody from the back, Bruce Pritchard, bring out Abyss, bring him out, bring everybody out,
bring him out.
all the women too, all the women. Like have them just come out. Like I just think that would be just so cool to see. But yeah, just talking about it now, it's giving me goosebumps. Like I really, really want to see something like that. I mean, no cliche, fucking that bald fraud.
Oh, God damn it, man.
But yeah, that's what I want to see to end off here, and then. Yep, that will be it. That'll be the end of Cardboard Dugout. Collecting the 1, 2, 3. That'll be it. 20,
yep.
2026, 2026, 2025, 2025. That'll be it. When he's gone, we're done. And then again, hopefully Topps does something cool. Hopefully they do like a collection. Maybe they do like Topps Now. Maybe they do something. I really hope they do something. I don't know. That hasn't really been.
I mean, why not, man? They in the baseball side, they released like numerous freaking Shohei Ohtani sets. Like, come on, man. Like
That was literally gonna be my thought.
give us a John Cena set. Yeah, I don't know.
That was
They
literally my
obviously could do it. They did the Time Is Now
yeah.
insert set in Chrome, so why not give us something like that? Give us a John Cena collector set.
Yeah, that's literally what I was thinking about as I was speaking about. Like, man, they do like so many Shohei Ohtani, like Aaron Judge, like MVP sets. Like, fuck it, like do a John Cena limited release, do whatever. Retail will probably be like fucking the price will probably be 300, $400, but do something like that. Hell, give me a Tops Now open edition, 1 of 1 autograph relic. Give me something. Give me a towel relic. Give me something. Um, but yeah, obviously we'll talk about that more if something was to be announced. If it doesn't get announced, then obviously we'll talk about the miss there for that. I'm trying to think here. Is there any other thoughts that we have on this match? I feel like we kind of hit everything as far as of that. I don't think there's obviously again only 4 matches, so not really much to write home about. But as far as of that, but even though the matches are very very good, but yeah, I feel like we hit everything there as far as the card, Cena, the retirement tour, the quotes, all that. But yeah, unless I missed something there, bro, I'll throw it over to you really quickly. Unless I missed something potentially. I don't think I did.
No, I think you pretty much hit it all. Yeah, like John Cena's obviously we essentially like he's part of our childhood, so it's so crazy to finally see him go. I remember going to I think you probably went with us. But like one of the first when he was first starting out, like when he was still doing this chain gang thing, he went to the era where like he would rep the jerseys
Yeah.
of like the city that he was in. And like I remember when he was coming to San Antonio, I was all pumped up. I was like, man, I wonder what jerseys gonna wear because obviously all we really have are the Spurs. So I was like, man, I wonder who he's gonna wear. And I remember him rocking like an old school George Gervin
George
black
Gervin.
jersey. Yeah. So I was like, damn. So yeah, he's been we we grew up watching wrestling with them, and like so we were obviously there when he won the record break or the record tying 16 title at the Royal Rumble when he beat Jay Styles. So yeah, and it's crazy to finally see it all come to an end. So
Yep. It is coming to an end. Again, we'll probably have our post reaction episode probably that Monday, maybe out Monday, maybe recording Sunday, not too sure. Might do a stream on Sunday, streaming meaning whatnot. So make sure you are staying tuned for that. Um, yeah, just some final thoughts here on my end. Not sure if you have anything, bro, Pio, before I kind of have a couple of final thoughts on my end. Not sure if that was your final thought, but I'll throw it to you over to you officially. Any final thoughts here for the good old listeners of collecting the 1, 2, 3?
no, I really don't got much other than go check out my eBay store, man. I'm trying to get rid of a lot of inventory. If you need a link to get there, just go follow me on Instagram, which I'm at Dad Who Collects, on Twitter and Instagram. But I have my eBay store link. I'm running a buy one get one on a majority of the cars that are like $4 and under. I was trying to get rid of a lot of stuff to make room for new stuff. I think I have it set up for like the rest of the year. So yeah, shoot me some offers, stuff like that. Just, I mean, if I have a card for $1.25, don't send me an offer for $1. I'm just probably just gonna decline, honestly. But like, but other than that, yeah, send me some offers. But yeah, other than that, that's all I really got, man.
Yeah, I was gonna plug it for you already. His link will also be down in the description down below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on Spotify or Apple, links will also be down in the description down below. All you gotta do is go to the podcast description episode and it will be down there. I believe on Apple and Spotify they are clickable, so you should be able to click it. If not, you can just copy and paste it from Apple and Spotify. If not, link will be down in the description down below on YouTube if you do watch it for the visual watchers slash listeners. And then again, go follow them over at Data Collects over on Twitter and X or whatever you want to call it, and then Instagram as well. But yeah, final thoughts here on my end. Yeah, go check out all of our links again. We have all of our things, all of our souls are going to be down below again at those same platforms. I'm going to repeat that again. I am working on some cool things here on my end, so make sure you are just staying tuned. I can't really talk about it too much just because we're still working on some kinks. I'll talk to you about it after the pod ends. So we're working on some kinks here. So hopefully we can get something going on that. Hopefully, if it falls through, no big deal. But we are working on some things here. I can't really again speak on it too much, but hopefully it does come into fruition. I will be potentially be on Whatnot Sunday, so make sure again you are following there. So if I do officially do a stream, I'm a little bit low on inventory already just because we did a whatnot stream which did really well, and then we again like revamped the eBay store. We did like a crazy like buy two get one free Black Friday. We're doing like 20% off, and people took advantage of that. So a lot of the good inventory has replenished there. So hopefully we can get some good stuff here over the weekend. Do have a card show on Saturday, so hopefully I can have time to go to that. Again, it's going to be very, very busy. So, yeah, just keep an eye out there for that. I'm trying to think what else. YouTube, make sure you are subscribing. Brett, 861 subscribers, guys. I don't know if something is popping off. So you guys have been absolutely killing it. The goal I set for myself was to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. So we're like 140ish away. Can we get there? Time will tell. If we get to 900 by the end of the year, that would be kind of insane. So hope we can get there. So again, if you are listening to on YouTube, make sure you are liking, subscribing, or if you're listening on Spotify and Apple, make sure you go over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, because you do get a lot of behind the scenes stuff as well. You know, you get the vlogs, you see Bro Peel in there sometimes, you get my wife in there sometimes. So again, if you are going to see some of the behind the scenes stuff, you know, how I do the podcast, how I do my whatnot stream, whatever, go check out YouTube. Make sure you're subscribing. And yeah, guys, that's going to be it for my end. Again, make sure you stay tuned for all the socials there. And yeah, that's all I have on my end. We will see y'all on either Sunday or Monday. We'll see for sure on Monday. We might record on Sunday, might record on Monday. But we will for sure see y'all there with our post Saturday night's main event. And yeah, guys, again, thank you for supporting all the content. I really do appreciate it. And we will see y'all in the next one. We'll do a little Wednesday goodbye, and then we'll do a little good old salute for good old John Cena.